Kia ora, Lara here. I am sharing with you today a Stamp It Like It's Hot layout, and this month the challenge was to use floral stamps. So I've got this gorgeous collection here called Layers of Beauty by Stampin Up, and I'm going to have a go at using this large stamp as a background for a layout. So I've got these nice sort of autumn colours. They were kind of a beautiful sunrise. It was pinks and there was sort of the oranges and browns of the trees. So I thought I'm going to play with this stamp and the beauty of our stamps, and in this case the stencil that goes with this stamp is that I'm able to change the colours to make it suit the photo and think about sort of colours and how they work together to sort of bring up or enhance this photo. So I decided that I'd have this large clump with the 3 of the stamps, and then I decided to go back and add another one sort of so it's coming off the page a little bit like the one I popped down there on the right. So I've just used some Memento ink, and now I'm just going to go through and use some different colours inside the stencil. So I've used a really soft pink here, and I then move it round, and I decide to start with I sort of use this other colour thinking that was for the leaves, but it was just for some other kinds of flowers. But it was just my first time playing around with this stencil, and had a lot of fun with it and really like how it came out. So just bear with me while I'm going through and sort of placing the stencil and adding the different colours with my blending brushes to this gorgeous sort of stamp. Now there is sort of a wee indentation in the top left of the stencil, so that if I had stamped it sort of in a uniform way, you'd be able to line it up each time. So you can sort of see that we V cut in at the top there, and that makes it really easy if you're using this stencil in cards or on the thin cuts that also can come as part of this set. And so it does make it really simple when you're doing that, but I just took quite a bit of time to make sure it was lined up. So it just really came together beautifully as the next few layers come on. So that's just that first layer, and what's really cool is it looks like you have coloured it in or spent ages water painting it or filling it in, but it doesn't have the perfection that you might have with some of that colouring. It sort of has that nice sort of natural watercolour kind of handmade look, rather than it being an official I'm not explaining myself very well, but rather than it looking too polished, possibly is a better word. So here I have used a darker pink and another sort of browny orangey colour out in the edges there that you can see, and I'm not pressing too hard, even though this colour seems to produce quite a bit of colour within that process. So I'm just moving it around. Again, you can see that it's quite tricky placing all the pieces here, but for those ones that are sort of down a little bit lower that I've already done just the second layer, you can already see how gorgeous these are coming out. So I'm just going to let the music play for a little bit, and I am going to just carry on with this stenciling process, and I will start chatting again a little bit soon. So now that all of that stenciling is complete, we can have a look at how these photos sort of show up with this gorgeous background that I've created through the floral stamps and the stenciling. So I'm going to mat my photos, so I'm just sticking these onto some white daisy cardstock and just cutting around them so that it doesn't need to be a super tidy border, but it's got a nice border there. So you can see that I've sort of separated off the photos where they're going to sit, and now I'm matting them with some of, I think it's a country collection paper. I will have to add that in the notes below when I find the name of it, but I just decided to go for these two. They're just a nice soft, subtle, and they kind of fit with the sort of almost vintagey heritage look that's sort of come about. Now I decide that the lower right hand photo doesn't need a mat, so I take that off. It just sort of felt like it was just too much, and this photo up the top left is kind of the feature picture, so I've kept that matted and then removed the mat for this other one, and I'm just going to stick that down as it is. Now I've used these thin cuts here, and they are kind of a traditional font, and I just felt that this went really nicely with the page. So again, I'm not sure of the titles of these, but I can list them down below later if you're interested. They're just a nice sort of almost Times New Roman kind of font, and they've got a nice size to them, but they're quite thin and they don't take over on the page. So sticking them down is a little bit fiddly. They are quite fine, so I'm using a fine tip glue, and it just does take a little bit to make sure I'm positioning them nicely on the page. So I'm calling it Autumn Morning, and it was just one of those mornings where the colours and sort of the glow was just so pretty that I had to stop getting ready from school, get the camera out, or actually I just used my phone, but set up and wander around the yard and take some photos. So it was, yeah, just one of those times when everything just looked kind of glowy and gorgeous, so hence I had to take these pictures, and I'm just documenting them in this layout. So I have now stuck down the most of this title, and I'm going to make it go into this last photo a little bit, and again, because it's not the feature photo, that doesn't matter. And there is the letter G. So I've got Autumn Morning, and I'm going to pop my journaling just down under where I have popped that title, and I'm just using the tool here just to pop down some of the bits that need a little bit more pressure and a little bit more of a chance to adhere to the page. Don't want our titles falling off. I've got albums up in my cupboard where some of the titles have started falling off. I should have double glued them or stuck them down with a better glue. Anyway, that's another story for another time. So loving how this is coming together again, just really liking these flowers. So part of the Stamp It Like It Hot is that you, by clicking either on the links below or just following through on the playlist that hopefully you're watching this from, you're going to be able to see lots of people using different floral stamps to create different pages, and yeah, just hope that you are following along and enjoying what you are discovering. So I'm just trying to look for other possible embellishments, and I've got this ephemera here. Again, it's a Stampin' Up ephemera pack, and I've just decided I'm going to stick this one down. It's kind of just some black and white flowers. It just adds another little bit of lift or dimension. So I had a look at that stamp set again that I've done the background flowers with. There's a few other little leaves and other things on there, but I decided to open up a new floral ephemera pack, and I'm going to pull out some of these that I think go with the page. So popping out some of them here. I toyed a couple of times with bringing in some blue flowers just with that sky, but I decided to keep it out and stick with just the pink colours. You may hear a cat in the background. It has just come into the room. I'm looking after my mother's cat at the moment, and yeah, it can be a little bit noisy, and it's probably wondering why I'm talking to myself while I'm doing this voiceover. Anyway, these that I'm just going through now, some more stickers. There's some really nice rose gold in this collection. It's not available anymore, but it's rather gorgeous, and I'm pleased that I got a hold of it while I could. So just tucking some of these little pieces and leaves in around the photograph. And now it's time for the final kind of sparkle element to go onto this page. So I'm just tucking in some of these little glitter gem dots. Now these are based on the In Colour, which is for 2024, 25, and I think they go through to 26. But they're nice, gorgeous pastels and things in... yeah, just love these colours. Anyway, time for a little bit of journaling, and I'm just going to pop that in this wee gap here. And I hope that you have enjoyed seeing this floral stamp come together into a layout, and that you will pop along and have a look at all of the other gorgeous layouts that have been created as part of this month's Stamp It Like It's Hot floral stamp focus. Hey, thanks heaps for watching.